Season 2 is right around the corner in Disney Speedstorm, and that means for better or for worse, Season 1 is coming to a close. Now in this video, I'm going to discuss everything that was added and changed in Season 1 of Disney Speedstorm and whether or not we should be optimistic about the future of this game. Now if you guys enjoy this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe because I'm going to be putting out a ton of Disney Speedstorm content that you aren't going to want to miss. Without further ado, let's get into the video. Disney Speedstorm Season 1 brought with it the launch of this amazing game and came with 9 maps and 18 different racers. Now honestly, I don't really have any complaints about these maps or racers up front. There are some balance issues with the racers, but I think all of the tracks are great and are really stunning. The music is wonderful and all the racers are unique in their own way and are great. But there is something I do want to talk about regarding the 4 seasonal racers, these being Mike, Sully, Celia, May, and Randall. Now for those who don't know, Disney Speedstorm has a pretty complex upgrading system and your level does influence the matches of this game pretty heavily, and something to note is that the Golden Pass in Season 1, which was obviously based around Monsters Inc., contained a ton of Monsters Inc. upgrade parts, and this made it extremely easy to unlock, upgrade, star up, just get all of your Monsters Inc. racers to incredibly high levels, higher than any other character in the game by a lot. Now the Disney Speedstorm devs actually did address this in a couple different ways, the first of all being they introduced a limited event where whoever your founding pack racer was, you could level them up to level 30 and 3 stars for free, which was very nice of them and definitely helps the issue a little bit. And then the other thing was they made balance adjustments to Mike Wazowski and Sully because Sully was very terrible no matter how high you had leveled him up, and Mike Wazowski was just incredibly dominant even if you haven't leveled him up all the way to level 30 like some people have. But even still, this issue is still present, even with Mike Wazowski and Sully being some of the more mid-tier racers. If you look at the leaderboard for any of the Scarer Cups, you'll see Mike and Sully are the only people anywhere close to the top 100, and that's because they're the only characters right now that can get to level 32, 33, and are going to be the only characters you can get higher in the future. And I think this poses a pretty big different problem with Disney Speedstorm, and that is it's just too hard to level up racers past level 30. The upgrade parts are so scarce and rare, and I think they really need to do something with maybe converting the lower level upgrade points into being some of the higher, more useful upgrade points, or maybe just get rid of the upgrade parts having to be collection or character specific altogether, just to make it a little more fair and give a little more freedom in upgrading who you want, rather than the meta and the top racers being so stale like it is currently. Despite the mess of a progression system that was pretty prevalent throughout the first season of Disney Speedstorm, there are also a lot of things that went really right, and one of those, in my opinion, is the Season Tour. The Season Tour was an amazing experience and is ultimately the best way to progress through Disney Speedstorm, as you would get so many rewards, racer shards, upgrade parts, season coins, everything you need to progress and upgrade through the game. And every Friday I would wake up genuinely excited to hop on Speedstorm and check in with the community to see which levels are the hardest, and I knew that I'd be getting so much progression done every Friday. It was truly a great experience, and besides the level gates being a little too high for some people, however, I don't think that's too much of an issue for most players, I cannot wait for Season 2 of the Season Tour, and to play through that and do it all over again. Another thing that went really well during Season 1 of Disney Speedstorm was the amount of communication and feedback that got applied from the developers. I mean, seriously, shout out to all the devs who have been listening and working on the game because they have been amazing with all the changes they've applied already. Most notably, during the middle of the season, they made some balance adjustments to Mike, Sully, Celia May, and fixed some bugs which made the game balance flow a lot better. Like I mentioned previously, Mike Wazowski became no longer ultimately the best racer in the game, and Sully became a little bit better than he was previously. They also did the developer Q&A towards the end of the season, which gave us a ton of answers about questions the community has been dying to know, and they already made some changes to ranked multiplayer shortly after the developer Q&A, which made ranked multiplayer go from a pretty flawed mode to overall a pretty solid mode, and one that I think is very playable. And while it still has some flaws, I have no doubt that the devs are working on fixing them in due time. Another thing that I feel needs to be discussed when talking about seasonal content is the limited events. There were a lot of limited events in Season 1. Some of them were amazing and some of them were not as good. To start things off, let's talk about the trademark Season 1 limited event, the Scarer Cups. There was a new Scarer Cup every couple of days in Season 1, and honestly, they were pretty exciting at first. The way Scarer Cups work is they're a competitive limited event where you have 3 races every 8 hours, and you have to try and get the best time possible, which will put you on a leaderboard, and basically wherever you are ranked on the leaderboard determines how many rewards, how many multiplayer coins you're going to get at the end of the Scarer Cup. Now, this was pretty exciting at first, as I really wanted to try and get in the top 10% consistently, which I ended up doing, and get as many multiplayer coins as possible, but eventually I started to lose interest just because basically the only viable option was Mike Wazowski, and playing him just to get 500 multiplayer coins every couple of days just wasn't very exciting. So yeah, Scarer Cups, while I think are a great idea, I think would benefit more if it was a set racer. Like, just give us a random racer set at level 30 and see what we can do. I think that'd be a lot more fun, in my opinion. But yeah, Scarer Cups, they were fine, and I assume we'll have something similar to Scarer Cups in Season 2. Now, another limited event that was prevalent throughout the entire season were the character unlock events. These are mostly Not in the Mood for Sushi was here the entire season, which let you unlock Celia May. There was Bloom in Adversity, which let you unlock Mulan, and Bounty of Olympus, which let you unlock Hercules. Now, these events, I have no complaints whatsoever. I mean, it's free racers and free racer shards and free upgrade parts. There's nothing to complain about, and honestly, these events were great, and they really helped people out, because I know a lot of people were struggling with unlocking Celia May, Mulan, and Hercules. So yeah, I hope these events help you guys out, and I really liked them. I don't see why anyone wouldn't like them. Now, moving on, the last major limited event that I can remember off the top of my head was the Imagination Cup. There was Imagination Cup 1, and now we are in Imagination Cup 2. Now, these events let you unlock Figment, and we're pretty hyped up because Figment was super wanted by a lot of different people in the community, and I think these events lived up to the hype because it was formatted similar to the Scarer Cup, where basically however well you did depended how many Figment shards you get, but luckily they made it so that even if you did terrible on the leaderboard, as long as you played the event, you would unlock Figment, which I think is a great decision. And overall, the Imagination Cup, I feel like it was a huge success, and I really enjoyed playing in it. I tried a lot to improve my time and get in the top 10%, and luckily I did. I have a whole video on how I did it. And so yeah, I really liked the Imagination Cup, and I hope they keep doing stuff more like that. I assume they will for Steamboat Mickey and Steamboat Pete in Season 2. But overall, the limited events in Season 1 I think were overall pretty great, and I hope they do more unique and cool stuff for limited events in the future and keep giving out awesome rewards, because that's really something that they can expand on. And yeah, I can't wait to see what Season 2 has in store in terms of limited events. Overall, I think Season 1 of Disney Speedstorm was a little rocky. There were some highs and there were some lows, but overall, the game is in early access, and this is the first season we've ever gotten of Disney Speedstorm, the first of hopefully very many to come, and overall, I would say that it was fun. I enjoyed my time despite some issues with the progression system or things like that, just little issues I think will be fixed in no time at all. And personally, I think if you're on the fence of buying Disney Speedstorm, I would say just do it. Hop on for the ride with us in early access. It's going to be a fun time, and you'll get ahead of everyone else before the game releases free to play. But overall, yeah, Season 1, I liked it.